Hello, everybody, and welcome to NBL Overtime. Huge off-season continues. The Sydney Kings coach, Will Weaver, is in town. I do need a haircut, though, Kerry, I'll be honest. Adelaide 36 has complete their roster. Phoenix continue to make some changes, and Liam Santamaria and I, our main man, Andrew Bogut, is in the NBA Finals. Hello, NBL Overtime. Hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. How you doing, big fella?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I haven't had a haircut in like 4 months, and you have 3 weekly. That's why we're laughing.
Look, you know, listen, you got to stay on point, man. Look, I like to look sexy. I like to look good.
What is
you
that?
know what I mean? So, you got to stay on point, man. Rule number 1, never fall off.
You saying I'm not on point?
No, I'm just saying. You said you didn't have a haircut in a couple of months.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know.
All right.
Shout out to Brother Wolf.
There you go. Sean Long, update very shortly from our main man, Liam Santamaria. Hello to you.
Hello. That's the second week in a row he's given. Well, last week it was kind of health and fitness kind of advice. Now it's grooming.
I'm going somewhere with all of this, you know.
Motivator. You got the Perth Wild.
Fashion next week, probably.
Fashion next week.
You got the Perth Wildcats a championship. You, of course, got Andrew Bogut back in the NBA.
It's about time he came and just sorted us out.
Yeah. Now, well, I'll tell you this. He's been pretty busy, though, our main man. We're going to get to Adelaide very shortly, but he's been very busy because one thing...
There are like a million Adelaide signings to talk about.
Yeah, there are. But you know what? The Adelaide signings didn't shock me.
The fact that they all landed at once.
No, that didn't shock me. It shocked me a little bit, but not as much. Yes. Obviously, you know that you and I and the people behind the NBL Overtime was able to get a Perth Wildcats jersey for our man, Corey Homicide Williams. I didn't expect him to grab an AFL jersey because it popped up over the course of the weekend. Show us the photo from Saturday night because what is going on?
Well, first of all, I am in some amazing company. This is quality.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, this Essendon royalty, basically. And I got invited by the Essendonians to speak, you know, Q&A.
Yes.
At the game function, game day. So I went down there. It was a really good Q&A session with the guys. And
did they ask you about Aussie rules, which, of course, is only a new sport to your world, or they talk more about your professional career?
Well, we talked about my professional career, my journey, jumping on the broadcast team, playing for 14 years, AFL, Essendon.
Did you mention NBL Overtime?
Of course.
Thank
you know, the Boomers game coming up, basketball and how it's, you know, this is the golden era right now. And, you know, obviously they were close and people don't notice, but they were really close in, you know, buying a team, you know, buying an NBL team. Yep. So we talked about that a little bit. And, you know, we just talked about basically how, you know, Larry Kesselman won't lose. Well, me, not they, but I'm just letting them know, like, the regime that's put together, Jeremy, Andy, and everybody else in the office, we all play a part in this, as us as well. And when you have the head of the team and organization as passionate and as determined to win, it's easy to come to work and be as passionate as we are about what we're doing.
And the Mighty Bombers got to win.
And we got to win.
Who's your favourite player?
The Dread. I don't know the Dread's name, but the Dread.
As in Anthony.
Both Dreads. Dyson Heppel and...
you know who Dyson Heppel is? You put
the captain.
Yeah.
But the other Dread, too.
You put an Instagram story up of you having breakfast.
What's the other Dread's like?
Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody.
Yeah. Tip and Woody.
Tip and Woody.
We enjoy having you on board, Corey. We got Bogey, we got Dante, we got Ben Simmons.
Good quality people.
You know that
it was only right for me to go to the Bombers.
I'm never one to start a rumour, but as you did touch on, of course, there was talk that it was going to happen. They might have investigated. I'm not sure how far it went. But, hey, it's not dead in the water. Imagine in 3 or 4 years' time, you as the head coach, Bogey's your associate head coach, sitting on the bench, looking after the Bombers NBL team.
What I can say is this.
What you can say is
what I can say is
he'll have more information next week.
You know, I had to talk with the CEO of Essendon. He's 39 years old. This is an accomplished young man. Forgot his name right now.
Xavier Campbell's his
Xavier
name.
Campbell, right. And you know, we talked a little bit about them. You know, they were interested in purchasing. They came really close, but that door is not completely closed yet. You know, listen. At the rate the game is going, our game is going, there's other people that's going to want to buy into this. So if I'm you, save your money right now and look into buying some NBL stock.
Can you wear the jumper next week on the show?
You know.
Doesn't fit you, does it?
It does fit.
Oh, well, then wear it on the show.
You want me to?
Oh, I'm asking you to.
You know we play Richmond next weekend.
Yeah, Saturday night, Dreamtime game. It's going to be big.
I know it's going to be big.
I love how you say we as well.
If we get a win.
Oh, let me tell you guys
If you get a win, you wear the jumper?
Easy.
Okay, good. Done. All right, now, we might touch a little more on that another time, but let's get to a team that we know is going to be in the league next year, the Adelaide 36ers, and so much of toing and froing and rumours and innuendo and 5 signings announced over the last couple of days, and 11 people now signed to their roster. It did just happen in a big rush, and there's some exciting players that have been announced as well.
Yeah, they dropped 4 at once. The import, Taylor, Brendan Tees, Kevin White and Daniel Dillon. So, and then obviously they've added one new youngster as well, and that finishes off their roster. So it was exciting. We were, you know, obviously we said a lot with this roster comes down to who that import point guard is going to be. So they've added Deshaun Taylor, straight out of Fresno State, and how well he comes in and adapts to the league and performs. He's going to have a big say in how well the 36ers do.
Now, can we just get this? This is not the guy that you have had correspondence with, was it? Now, last week you spoke about the fact that there might have been a guy that the 36ers were looking at as a point guard. This is not him, is it?
This is not him.
Okay, cool. No. I just wanted to get on the record.
This is not him.
Yeah. Okay.
Corey can't help who slides in with DM.
I can't. I can't.
I was just making sure.
Yeah.
What do you make of obviously Patrick Beverley's been likened to as a point guard. He's going to be ferocious at both ends, which I think is something the league has gone to the last 3 or 4 years with the amount of quality point guards we've got. But we might just look at the 2 guys we know a little more about, Daniel Dillon and Kevin White. Tees, of course, has been there for a long time. But Dillon and White ending up at Adelaide, how do you reckon it shapes the roster and in particular helps that bench depth?
Well, that's Obi. Is it Obi Shea?
That's
we're running with Obi.
Obi Shea.
This kid is going to be a problem.
Obi Shea is the pronunciation where, we've been learning more and more about him over recent times. He's an exciting young talent. We'll touch on him more.
Yep.
You want to talk about
the two
White
guys,
and Dillon?
Yeah, White and Dillon, who are going to obviously come off the bench and add a bit of toughness to the team.
Yeah, well, look, those who have been watching the NBL for a long time are familiar with what Daniel Dillon can do or could do when he was in the league a while ago, and it's going to be exciting to see him back. Certainly he was ready to go with Melbourne United a couple of seasons ago, and the pre-season injury put him out for that year, and we haven't seen him back on the floor since. So there are a number of teams who have felt like, hey, he can really help us, and they've felt that for a number of years. So it's going to be great to see him back out on the floor. Kevin White, I love where Joey Wright says at the end of last season they re-evaluated things, and they said, we weren't tough enough. We crumbled when push came to shove. That there were times when we got pushed around and we need to get tougher. So how do you go get tougher? Well, you get one of the toughest guys in the league. And they need to get better. They needed to get better defensively. Also, when you look around, you see the big money teams grabbing all the high-scoring talent. Well, you go a different direction. You say, let's lock everyone down. Let's get a whole bunch of... They've just got an elite defensive import point guard. Let's lock everyone down and be super hard to score against, super hard to play against, and I like the route he's taken. OBJ
is a rim protector, and Joey Wright gave a little bit of a hint, I think, 48 hours before the announcement was signed. This is going to be a fun team to watch because, obviously, with the young fella, rim protector above the rim, as we've seen from the highlights. Jacob Wiley's still under contract, although we spoke a little bit about that last week. They're a team that gets up, and it's going to be really fun in that way they've played their best basketball, in particular when they made that grand final. They were up and down, above the rim. They're a fun team, and I think Joey Wright is trying to get that, and so far, all the pieces look like they'll play a very similar style.
Yeah, you know, you can never discount Joey Wright. You know, he's going to go out there and find the diamond in the roughs. Just because we don't know a lot of these players does not mean that they're not good enough. The question for me is, Wile E. Coyote, he's going to be a big piece to their puzzle. He's having a great season, back end of the season in Spain on a EuroLeague club. Will he come back? I personally do not believe he's going to come back. Those teams over there are throwing some big dollars. If it's a buyout in his contract, that's what's going to happen.
And look, Wiley, I think that there's a high... We've flagged this before. I think there's a very high chance that happens. And he's awesome. We love Wiley in the league. And he's an awesome player. And if he is in the EuroLeague next year, he's going to continue to do really well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the NBA soon. But make no mistake, if he's not here, someone else will be 100%. In that spot. And Joey Wright is the master.
The master.
Bringing it, and especially, I mean, you've seen over years his ability to replace a guy with the right guy. So he had Keon McNeil, and he got injured, and he wasn't in the preseason. He wasn't great to start that year. A few games in, bring in Jerome Randall. They had Roberts. Then they had another guy come in for a one game, got hurt. Brings in Josh Childress. If he needs to replace Jacob Wiley, now I've already heard some names that could be on that list of potentials, and boy, they are exciting. So if you're an Adelaide fan, don't stress. I know how much you love Jacob Wiley and watching him play, but if he's not there, you'll be okay. One thing I will say though, we're talking about them defensively and Joey Wright finding diamonds in the rough. When you mentioned when they went to the grand final, they were up and down, high-scoring team. They were the second best. They had the second best defensive efficiency in the league. They were a defense-first team, and then they ran and attacked the rim and put points on the board. Last year, Joey wants to run that up and down style. He wants to put heat on the rim. You've got to get stops first. We sat here at this desk and said Adelaide just aren't defending. They're getting... Demetrius Conger came in. It didn't get any better. Right. So he's gone out and said, all right, we want to run. We want to be exciting. Cool. We've got to get stops. We've got to be hard to score against.
Right. Kevin White, he's a dog.
He is.
That new point guard coming in, this rookie, he looks like a dog. So that's a nice backcourt in itself, right? Well, not backcourt, but because Kevin White, well, he could play the two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the big thing. I don't think he'll start, but he may well start. But that's a big thing too. Going to your bench and bench depth, if you're going to play a certain style, your bench has to reflect the type of basketball you want to play and the good work your starting five's going. So there's no use getting a dogged point guard out of college who's likened to Beverly and is going to be up in the grill of the Casper Wares of the world and all the rest of it. If when you go into your bench, your players don't do it. Because you haven't got the players with the skill set to be able to do a similar thing. You know, and Kevin White's been a very, very solid player, but really, really above average defender for a long period of time.
Mate,
so it's a really good way to go.
Remember those high-scoring, fun-to-watch Illawarra Hawks teams? The one that beat Adelaide as the minor premiers in the semi-finals and went to the grand final, and they were getting 80 shots a game and putting up over 100 points. Kevin White was playing a whole bunch of minutes on that team, doing the job and playing the role he's going to play under Joey Wright for these 36ers.
All right, Richard Clark.
Well, Obishai, right? Obishai is the player that the Adelaide signed, and the word was getting around in advance of that, and the NBL posted a social media post relating to a conversation between Joe Wright and Body Noj, who published his comments. We put the graphic up of their comment saying we're bringing in a young Aussie, blah, blah, blah. And the NBL said, who doesn't like a good free agency guessing game? True. And then in the comments, Richard Clark, GM of the Brisbane Bullets, slides in and just drops the name.
Now,
ahead of the announcement.
Now, hang on. In fairness,
hold on.
In fairness,
what is going on
maybe. So of course, there's
how does that happen?
Everyone loves a nice fancy guessing game. Agreed. And maybe he was just simply being the basketball fan and saying, "This is who I think it's going to be."
No, Rich, you can't.
I like this. I like it. I like him coming in and going, well.
They haven't announced it yet. No. They're another club. Yeah. I'm just going to jump in.
That's the next level for the NBL, to have a look to these off-field, sort of off-court sort of, interactions and to and froing. I love it.
Hey, it works great for us.
It does.
We just have more content to discuss.
You know what I see next year? When Brisbane puts something up and they're playing, we've got someone coming and trying to heighten, and then someone from Adelaide just slide on and go, this guy. And you got to keep in mind,
I'm actually calling BS on that. I'm calling it a Colangelo situation.
Oh.
I think he thought he was on his burner account.
Burner account.
His iCloud was like, surely that's... And I clicked on, I'm like, going through the photos, I'm like, that appears to be him.
Still there? I hope it's not a burner account, or he thought he was on his burner account. I hope he's like, I'm going to lift this league and the drama in the off-season to a whole new level, because I think that's what the NBL needs next.
You've had that situation with one of your burner accounts before?
I don't have burner accounts. I don't even know what Cam is talking about regarding that.
I don't know. I haven't checked out the size of Richard Clark's collars, but I
love it. Yeah. I love it. Good on him. All right. Now, you have promised this in 2 straight weeks. A Sean Long update, of course, for people who would watch the show. About a month ago, the rumour was that Sean Long was going to sign at Melbourne United. He tweeted, and then, of course, it hasn't quite officially happened just yet. You told us 2 weeks ago I'd have an update next week. You were able to push it, and because Liam and I are in a generous mood, we allowed you 1 more week's grace.
Appreciate it, guys.
What do you got for us?
But I believe he'll be at United. I believe it's done.
You believe it's done at Melbourne United?
I believe he'll be at Melbourne United.
Okay.
Well, it's not done until Sean Long tweets it, and when he does, I'm not going to get any kind of notification or have any idea
Why
that
is
it's
that?
there because he's blocked me.
What?
Yes.
He blocked you?
Yep.
Oh, man. Why?
Well, I actually made some comments last week.
Oh.
I alluded to questions around his maturity that exists within NBL circles, and he went...
Oh, he's blocked you since then?
Yes.
Oh, I assumed he'd been blocked already.
Man.
Yeah, cool. I think he will...
He was like, okay, cool.
Makes sense.
You know what? If we're going to sit here and talk about athletes that have blocked us, we're going to be here for a long time.
I'll be here for a minute.
But in saying that, I think that he will end up at Melbourne. Do you know why it's taking time?
I don't think it's taking any more time. I think it's done.
Okay.
You know, my sources tell me.
That is...
Sound like Liam.
And your source
My
is...
sources tell me.
Who's your source?
It's almost done. Gotta protect the source.
Yeah, that's
but, yeah, I think it's done.
Okay, well, when Sean Long did tweet and the rumour, and we all thought that it was going to get done, and it probably looks like that it will end up being done as well, Josh Boone, of course, took to Instagram to say thank you to the Melbourne fans, and it was his way of saying, hey, I'm on the way out. But here's an Instagram post in the last, I'll say 10 hours now, so overnight Australian time, suggesting that, well, something might be coming. We spoke about Josh Boone last week and where he could walk, or walk to, or play for next year. What do you think?
I think he was watching the Game of Thrones finale.
I think he's got
He's
something...
waiting on winter.
I think he's actually put something else up since, where it's a...
Sean Long and I had some words the other day. He was in my DM, and he said, you know, I put the comment, I had said the post where I was like, look, leave the emotions, you're too connected.
Yep.
Oh, Josh Boone.
Josh
Boone.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, sorry, Josh Boone, yep.
And basically what I was saying was, the whole thing happened, okay, Sean Long, that whole drama played out, and he felt, you know, wronged by Melbourne United not hitting him up, letting them know they were going another direction. Cool, and I said, again, emotionally, you're too tied to this. Because after that, all I kept seeing on his Instagram was posts of him working out with Melbourne United gear on. So that's making me believe you're emotionally tied still. Take it off. You're not with him no more.
Yeah, but it's not always easy to... I don't disagree with what you are saying, but the point is, too, it's not always easy just to be able to flick off the emotions. He's a player who he spent 2.5 years here, won a championship, obviously enjoyed his time here,
Yeah,
and may well be in Melbourne sometime soon if that announcement, or if an announcement gets made. And the fact is that, you know, it's not just easy just to... I get what you're saying, and we've spoken about this a lot, but you just can't just flick it off just because
you actually
the team has gone the other
You're
way.
a pro, move on. That's it. You get paid. They don't owe you anything.
I'm not saying
you see how we got all these thank yous?
I'm not saying that Melbourne United owed him anything and vice versa. And they, you know, you pay someone and you play your heart out for someone, and it doesn't happen as a pro. But it's not just easy just to flick off the emotional side of it just because it looks like you won't be there.
If your ex-girlfriend breaks up with you today,
okay,
are you going to post photos of you and her still?
In a social media world we live in, I probably wouldn't.
What's the difference?
But people do that.
There ain't no difference.
You just can't flick it off just because a relationship ends.
If what? Then you'll be a stalker.
Are you
kidding me? She calling the cops on you, man. If you break up with your missus...
Josh Boone's not sitting out the side of Dean Vickerman's house tooting the horn. He's putting up some warm-up gear from the US of A.
You cannot do that. So he reached out to me and was like, look, I think you have this thing misconstrued. That's not the case. I just said, you know, I wish it would have been handled better.
No
but
doubt.
I'm not emotionally attached.
But is there any chance you're reading a little too much into those? He might just be wearing his latest, best-fitting workout gear.
It's nice gear.
You're not with the team anymore. Why are you doing that?
So you've never...
You're not with the lady anymore. Why are you showing photos of her with you?
He's thrown out all his other old teams.
Yeah.
Man, put up old basketball. And he started doing that. We were going back and forth. I said, you know what? You're right. I'm looking into it way too much than you are. Moving on.
I'll tell you what he does do.
That man is coming back here.
Where's he going?
Look, they talked about it already on Trash Talk. He's going to...
What do you mean they talked about it on Trash Talk? That's your podcast.
Felix Van Hoff told me today.
Where's he going?
The Phoenix.
So he's going... Josh Boone, you think will be at South East Melbourne Phoenix?
That's the word on the street.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that at all.
That's the word on the street. That's just what I was told. Felix told me this.
Liam Santa Maria, what do you think?
I think he's going to Illawarra.
I think he's going to Illawarra as well.
think he's signing with Illawarra.
I think so. Yo, Felix Van Hoff, man, get your stuff together, man. Don't tell me nothing you don't know.
Hang on. This is the same Felix Van Hoff who went on radio and said that Southeast Melbourne Magic is what the name's going to be.
Oh yeah.
The day before, and you're still taking. Man, Mike, you got to get new sources.
Yeah, I guess I do, man.
New sources. All right, just on that. So you think that he will be announced as a player of the Illawarra Hawks?
Yeah. I'm not going to go super strong. Like, I don't feel like how I do about it, like Corey does with Sean and Melbourne United.
Yep.
Right.
But that's how I'm feeling. I don't think it's happening at Southeast Melbourne. From what I talking to people with regards to Perth Wildcats, I don't think it's happening there. I do have strong suggestions that it's with the Illawarra Hawks.
On Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, you might just have a look at their roster now because it's Dingy Kuth, who's been playing really well in the NBL 1 for Ballarat. There's a couple of guys over the course of the week from the Ballarat NBL 1 team that signed. We'll get to Kwame in a moment. But this is the roster as it sits. What do you make of it, boys?
Here's what I see. If Josh Boone is going to this team...
He's not.
Like...
Drinks his tea. Drinks his what? It would be great. That was awesome. It was Kermit the Frog.
I actually do need a cup of tea, guys, out the back if you want.
It would be awesome for him to reunite with Ty Wesley. Let's say Mitch Creek does not make the league, which he will, but let's just say he doesn't. That front line would be one of the best in this league.
Yeah.
Imagine at the 2, go get a dynamic point guard. That is a legitimate 5.
If it's not Josh Boone, it's still going to be a pretty good front court anyway because they're going to be able to, they're obviously going to back themselves in. They're going to get a 5 import. Do we all agree on that?
No.
No.
Not necessarily.
I
hope they do.
They better.
No, because if they do get a 5 import, that means I hope they don't.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. Because if Mitch Creek is on the team, they'll get a 5 import.
Can we put that back up, please? Just look at this. Then, based on the roster we've got now, who do you think starts as their centre come game 1?
If Mitch Creek is on the team, they'll get a 5 import and he'll start.
Okay.
If Mitch Creek is not on the team, they've got a big hole at the 3 spot.
Yeah, they do.
So they need to go in a different direction from there. So I would imagine at that point they'll be looking at an import 3, and they're going to. They've still got a roster. Then they've got a roster spot, potentially a marquee guy.
Yeah.
Which is the roster spot that Mitch Creek is currently holding, where they would try to go and get a 5-man.
So the starting 5. My point is the starting 5.
You could think about that are in Europe or the like that might fit that.
The starting centre.
Rogmotor?
The starting centre is not there.
He's a powerful.
The starting centre isn't there in game 1, is it?
No.
No. Okay, that was sort of the point that I was getting to. Regardless if it's a marquee player and import.
Yeah, the starting centre's not there. The starting point guard's not there.
Okay.
The starting 3-man might be there in Mitch Creek. So there's a lot of water to go under the bridge, and they still have some balls in the air, and a lot of it depends on what happens with Mitch. So that's why he goes to Summer League, he does his thing with the Timberwolves, and then the ball can start rolling. So you would imagine now, as they're preparing their lists for Summer League and their imports, and they're talking to people, you would imagine they have 3 lists.
That is the most intriguing for me right now. That's the most intriguing conversation and situation in the off-season. We had Mitch Creek sit here a couple of weeks ago. We had Tommy Greer in the off-season, in the season, sit on the NBL overtime desk and speak about the fact of not give us dates, exact dates as into when you can make a decision, and we understand that, but it's all. I've said this again. They cannot wait until the day before the NBA opening rosters being announced and wait for Mitch Creek to make a decision. I'm not saying they're all in for Mitch Creek as we all are making the NBA, but they've got to come in with a splash. My concern with them...
There's time.
Yeah,
Summer League is in the first couple of weeks of July.
Yeah,
Things get sorted out in the couple of weeks straight after Summer League, so that's the end of July.
Right.
Then there's August, September, the first couple of weeks of the season are in October. Mitch Creek is worth waiting for in that regard.
I don't disagree. But if they get to late September and they're a couple of weeks out from the start of the NBL season and the Timberwolves are still, or another NBA franchise are still, Mitch Creek's right there. Is that the way we're going to go?
It's going to be a tricky situation if that's how it is.
Well, I think that's how it'll be.
This is why all of that waiting game is why Josh Boone is not signing with Southeast Melbourne right now. Because they can't, if they sign their 5-man right now, unless it's a conditional contract that is conditional on what happens with Mitch Creek.
Yeah.
If they sign their 5-man right now and Mitch Creek gets an NBA contract, what do they do at the 3 spot?
And I don't think he would sign
do that.
a conditional contract. I don't think that any
He probably wouldn't.
Get
I mean, a guy like him, you can understand why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that if there are other teams out after him, and I think there would be, he can he's not a guy who just is clinging onto a lifeboat, so to speak, when it comes to playing in the NBL. He's a guy who has been an All NBL first team not 18 months ago and part of a team that played off in the grand final this year. So a conditional contract would surprise me if it was to go down that path. All right, Sydney Kings. Will Weaver is officially in town. He's been in a couple of weeks now in Sydney, the new head coach, and he's been doing a little bit of media, and he spoke to you, nbl.com.au, to check out the article. What did you make of it?
Well, it was a good read. I enjoyed it.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't quite got across it yet, but I heard it's good.
Is that?
Nah, it's a good read.
What do I make of him?
Oh, what do you make of him, the situation, and what he had to say to you?
Well, he's really impressive, and he's going to be really successful. And I can see him potentially following, and I think this is what he has in mind, is the Brett Brown path.
Yep.
So Brett Brown was assistant at the, and then he came over here and established himself as a head coach in the NBL, and then made his way back into the league, and now he's a head coach. So he's spent some good time with Brett Brown, and as I wrote in the thing, a whole bunch of other really smart basketball operators. Sam Hinkie, Brett Brown, Sean Marks, Kenny Atkinson, and he's on the cutting edge of analytics and basket and scouting and coaching, and his time with the Boomers has given him a good understanding of Aussie players and what makes them tick, and working with Andre Lamanis. And he automatically comes into the league in that sort of Damian Martin kind of, you cannot help but like and love this guy if you meet him category. They're going to love him up there in Sydney. He's going to be totally opposite to Andrew Gaze on the sidelines, whereas Drewy was riding every play, highly emotional. Will Weaver is a thinker. He's going to be kind of calm, controlled, working his way through problems, and I think it's going to mesh well with Bogey especially, which is really key within that with that team and the rest of that veteran lineup.
From the articles that I've read and the comments and a little bit I've seen from him being he just fits so perfectly with what Andrew Bogut, the way he plays his basketball, the way he thinks about his basketball, and they just look to be perfectly matched as a player coach. Now, it doesn't always work out that way, and of course we'll see how it plays out into the season, but just from his comments and the way that he seems to approach basketball and everything that you spoke about before, and the way he's in the last couple of years worked his way around, be the Boomers, be it the G League, or an assistant coach at different places, just feels like a really good fit with Andrew Bogut, and I can see exactly why the Sydney Kings thought that he's the right guy to bring into the league at this time. What do you say?
How many first-year coaches come in here and hit the ground running and do well? This is not a cupcake league.
No.
I hear all these things and I'm sure this guy is everything you guys are saying. Mitch Creek spoke highly of his coach.
Very highly.
But this is not an easy league to just come in and just hit the ground running. So, good luck to him. And, you guys are giving the rings to the Kings already.
No, we're not giving the rings to the Kings. We're simply saying that you need to your theory.
I need to go ahead.
Your theory that they can't win a championship because they didn't play well in the finals this year is flawed, because teams are able to, and we've seen it happen in recent years. So we're not sitting here and saying Sydney Kings aren't going to lose a game, but we just can't simply say, they can't win a championship because they didn't deal with Melbourne in that semi-finals couple.
Will he win a championship in his first year coaching the Sydney Kings? That's what I want to know right now.
Yeah.
He will win the chip.
They'll go very close. They'll go very close. But,
yes or no, will he?
But I don't know. Okay. I'm going to sit on the fence to an extent.
You guys are disrespecting the Wildcats.
It's super early. Super early,
it is.
Right? They don't even have their foreman. We don't have the rosters sorted out. Don't know who's going to be this, that in different teams. But if you had to make me pick right now, and you look at what they've put together and the guy they've signed as their head coach, who they're putting together as the coaching staff, I'm going to say yes.
Now, he's got an assistant coach. I don't think it had been announced when you sat down with him, but Adam Ford's left the Perth Wildcats, which, before we talk about that, the Perth Wildcats are assistant coachless currently, aren't they?
They've got one, the Jacob Chance, who was their third assistant.
Yes.
But Matt
Nelson Jacob, yes. So Matt Nelson has moved, and then, of course, Ford.
Adam Ford now, yep.
Are you surprised?
Angus Brandt has moved on from the Wildcats. Tom Jervis. That's 4 key components of their championship team last season that won't be there.
What do you make of Adam Ford going to the Sydney Kings? Were you a little bit surprised? Not to suggest he won't fit all the rest of it, but were you surprised that he made the move?
It was an interesting one because when Nielsen left, that lead assistant job at Perth was his. That was his. He was ready for it, and my understanding it was his for the taking. And then the Sydney Kings swooped in and made him an offer, and he's making the move. So it does bring about some questions as to why he would do that, why there is all this movement with this championship team that did so well, partly because of its chemistry and how well everybody was working together. But maybe he looked at, he knows Will Weaver, he spoke with him, he looked at that team and Bogan and Capoeira and thought, it's an exciting opportunity to go and work with them, maybe. But yeah, when the lead assistant job at a team like the Perth Wildcats was available, it's interesting to see him move elsewhere.
When he's worked his way up from the very bottom as almost a volunteer video assistant all the way to where and been an integral part. Look, you guys will know this probably more than I do because I don't know the guy at all. And, of course, he's got Australian 3x3 duties dealing with at the moment. But does Greg Hire have coaching aspirations? Is he a player you could see being on that Wildcats bench, if not next year, in the next couple?
I asked him about it a little while ago and he said he certainly wants to be involved. And whether that's, in a coaching capacity straight away, but I could see him at least being kind of there in a mentoring type of role. There's some guys on that team, like a guy like Reece Vague, who is following pretty much the path that Greg Hire took, coming up as a development player and becoming a championship player and gradually playing more and more minutes. So I could see him playing a role mentoring them, and then if that goes well, potentially in the future, I could see that.
All right, let's move on to something.
But right now, their lead head assistant coaching job is on Seek.
Have you applied?
No.
Have you applied?
No, but I know this. Damian Martin at the point. Who's his backup?
Mitch Norton.
That's a legit point guard. We know this. Both of them.
Yeah.
Cotton at the 2. Doesn't even need a backup. The 3 position, they're going to bring back. I'm sure they're going to bring back.
Tariq White.
Well,
T. White's coming back.
Have you heard from anyone on Instagram from the White family recently?
No, but they don't have to rush. They don't have to panic. Gleason's going to go to Summer League like he does every year and find, if they cannot get White, they're going to go find somebody White-like, equivalent.
And White's in no rush either.
White's in no rush either.
Right.
So I would say bring White back. You'll see the best of him. We haven't even seen the best of him. He just caught fire in the finals, in the grand final. So come back, second year under your belt. People know what to expect. You know what to expect in this league. And he's going to do even better he comes back. Nick Cade.
Steindl's his backup.
Steindl at the backup. Nick Cade.
All NBL first.
All NBL first team.
Only one of us predicted that, though, so thank you, Cameron.
Yeah, he's only going to get better.
They'll get a center.
Of course.
Bring Nate, maybe. They'll get a center. This is the team. You guys talking in Sydney, cool, it sounds good on paper. This is the team.
You know what this really smacks of, Liam Santamaria?
Tell me.
Motivating the Sydney Kings.
It's
and
not.
We'll be sitting here next March and he'll go, I motivated the Sydney Kings. This is what I do.
I didn't say that.
I was wrong, but I tell you that I told them what they needed to hear.
After seeing this team do what they did this year.
You didn't see it. You walked out of the stadium with 3 minutes ago and turned your phone off.
That's not true. I went to the bathroom. My point.
Ran out of battery.
And the phone died. My point is.
5 charges stopped working.
Didn't have them with me. But the point is, this team, you cannot look past, disregard, or disrespect anymore. Now, I'm not even talking about you two. I'm talking about me. Because that's what I did all year. Right or wrong, that's what I did. So for them to prove me wrong, I'm not going against them.
I want to point this out. We are not, well, I'm not, I don't think Liam is either. We're not disrespecting the Perth Wildcats.
You guys both are.
We're simply saying Sydney are going to be very good.
Because what happened last year was you were focused on not disrespecting the champs, Melbourne United, and another teams came in and won the title.
Yeah.
And if you get so focused on not disrespecting the champs, the Sydney Kings are going to come right around you and win the thing.
And do you know what happened you would know because I think you were there. You know what happened the previous year? Perth Wildcats got swept in the semi-final.
They got swept.
Come back.
Familiar with that.
What did
They got
Sydney Kings do?
swept.
They got swept.
They got swept.
So my point is that it can turn around.
They don't have Bryce Cotton on their team.
No, they do not. I don't think they can afford him, to be honest. All right.
They could afford Bryce Cotton.
Well, maybe not now.
Not now. They can't. They can't.
Whatever they are.
They can't.
All right.
Can I just flag before we finish?
Is it this?
No. It's not anything crazy.
Oh, okay.
We moved quite quickly on from Sean Long and Josh Byrne.
Yes.
The idea that we're going to get both those guys back in the league is sensational.
Agreed.
Look.
Let's get those deals finalised, and
so then we can really talk about it.
We can really break it down.
Right.
And having Bogut and Sean Long and Josh Byrne.
Oh my God!
And then we're going to get another. We're going to get an import centre in Perth.
Yep.
We're going to get an import centre in New Zealand. You know, Gavoni's going to find them someone good.
Jawad. Wait a minute.
God.
Jawad's coming back.
The Giants.
Who is?
Jawad got to be coming back.
Nature always playing somewhere, isn't
He just finished up in France.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying next season, he hasn't signed anywhere yet. So it's going to be really interesting to see where those other bigs move that play with other teams. Because it seems like all the bigs are moving.
But 4 or 5 years ago, this was the league where when someone did as well as what Bryce Cotton did when he had 45 points, we said he's gone. He's gone. He's back. 4 years, 3 years, he's signed on.
Yeah.
Sean Long, we go, he's gone. I mean, but these guys, they come back now, and it's awesome.
Just on New Zealand.
Yes.
Any tour? Well, obviously, there's some media speculation last week. Has there been anything last week?
No, nothing further to
Nothing
add.
at all. Yep, cool. All right. The off-season, of course, is always a fun time when NBL players and WNBL players go and play around the world in different aspects, as Nate Jolway has been. But you've been able to find a little... nice little cram from a young Illawarra superstar.
Speaking of Illawarra, check out this throwdown from Dan Greeter in the NBL. Look at this. This is your boy, Corey.
Yeah.
Look at this. Just rips it and hits it. Wow. For the Nelson Giants.
Who was that against?
Hawke's Bay.
Oh, that was Hawke's Bay. Okay, because they lost to the Tasmanian team, didn't they?
Not all over the NBL results.
Yeah, no, I actually seen a game winner over the course of the weekend, and I apologise to... I know one's the Southern Huskies, so the two Tasmanian teams down there, one in the NBL, one in New Zealand Basketball League, but I'm pretty sure there was a game winner that beat them on the buzzer. There was one that we should probably look at as well. So there you go. But they're stacked, that team.
Yep. There were a few teams over there that are stacked.
And Canberra having a team? Canberra have put their hand up to put a team in the New Zealand Basketball League as well. All right, anything from you?
www.CoreyWilliams.net. My website is up.
It's up.
Check it out.
It's very nice.
Thanks, Liam.
Done a good job.
I showed Liam it, asked him his thoughts. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't disregard your thoughts either, but...
I'm sorry.
But yeah, shout out,
nice.
Be Like That Creative. I didn't get it for free. Don't think, people give me free stuff. I had to pay for it, but they did a really good job, man. Be Like That Creative. Thank you.
Hey, good luck on Saturday night, mate. Your boys, the Bombers, Dreamtime with the G, be packed out. Will you be there?
Maybe.
On that note, hashtag NBL20 to get involved.
Kind of nervous.
Overtime at NBL. Jump on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Until next week, this has been NBL Overtime. See ya.
Peace.